Mark, could you come up?
Is everybody in? The ceremony is about to begin. I don't know, man. I'm an addict, and my name is Mark.
Hey, Mark.
That's as simple as I can break it down. I'm shaking like I'm just shaking right now, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that people asked me to do this. People asked me to come back. They're probably pissed off about that now, but that's okay, man. It's keep it simple. Keep it simple. That's our convention theme. And I was kind of digging that, man. It's almost like Cran, It's almost like Cran. Whoever did that, I like that. We want to, you come around here and you work some steps and you make some things happen and things start happening in your life, and all of a sudden we got to add a whole bunch of stuff. Because that's what we do. That's what I do. I don't know what you do. I know what I do. And it seems like the last... It seems like it's a thing that's starting to go on now. Maybe just because that's what I want to see. And some of the conventions are doing things like back to basics. What are the basics? Steps. Home groups. I got to say this. My home group is the Second Chances. We meet in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan on Thursday nights. If you ain't got a home group, you need to get one. And if you got one, support it. Because without the simplest thing we can do around here is, first of all, get a message of recovery and then give that message away. And we do that at our home groups. And I got, just before this workshop today, this morning, I started going through all kinds of shit, man. I don't know why. I don't know why. It just happens. And so I started talking to some folks about, hey, man, come to the workshop. Because I still feel less than. Nobody wants to hear this shit, And I like to hear people when they'll go to a meeting and they'll start sharing, and the pain is there, and the pain is real, and I'm touched by that pain, and I feel that pain, and I wanna help, man. And then when I get into the whole feeling the pain thing, sometimes I look around and they're out having a goddamn cigarette, and then I'm pissed off, Like, if you're gonna stick around and give me some pain, stick around for the solution. Not that I have it, okay? I might not have it, but somebody in that room might. And if I'm gonna come in and dump all my shit on the table and then start texting and getting up and walking out and having cigarettes, then 2 weeks later I'm still in pain and I don't know why. The simplest thing I can do is sit at a table. That is the simplest thing I can do. Sit at the damn table. We don't recover by, to me, I'm looking out and I can see the lake, man. That's just really nice. And the natural beauty of this is nice. But this is a kind of a payoff as a result of putting my feet under the table and sitting there. Camp Mac is a result of that. And the people that I've met here is a result of that. I can't get this shit in the express checkout at Walmart, man. You know, I can only get it here. And that's why I still come to workshops, because I need to get filled up. I need to hear things. I heard something last night that that really touched me. And it answered a question to a struggle that I sometimes have. And I'm going to share that because I've been here. See, I got to worry when I start thinking I'm different. That you don't know what I got. You don't know how I feel. You didn't do the shit I did. Because I'll go there. My thoughts still take me to some pretty hectic places at times. And then sometimes they don't. Sometimes I have, good thoughts. But a thing that I heard last night is something, now I'm going to paraphrase it because, I burn a lot of brain cells out up there, and about the only time that I'm really good at remembering shit is when I'm slamming somebody and being all sarcastic and being a dick, Then I can remember everything. But let me try to remember peaceful things, okay? Like words out of the basic text. I'll paraphrase the shit out of that too. But what I'm saying is that what I heard was you can't, something about prayer and faith and praying to God if you don't have faith. Can you do that? And I was pondering that, and it came to me, that thought came to me that's why I've struggled with prayer so much. Okay? And in the beginning with this whole keep it simple thing, okay? I don't want to get real deep in that because god damn, that's my shit, and I don't want you to think I'm different, okay? So I'm all fucked up about that. But what happens, and our 11th step talks about it, for those of us that don't pray, meditation is the only way to work this step, okay? So I meditate. And I can't really describe my higher power. But this is what I can describe. There's been times in my recovery that the dope was the only thing left, man. That, you know what? I've been here, I've kept it simple, I've worked some steps, I got people in my life. I really should be farther than where I am. And I'm in that shit, man. I'm in my fucking head. And, when I get there, the last thing I think of is, what's the 7th step say? That thought don't come right away, okay? I'm trying to train myself. But anyways, this is what I'm saying. Is although I can't describe my higher power, I know that I have one because I haven't picked the dope back up. And that's when you know that you'll develop a higher power. When you got something between you and the dope, and a decision gets made, and a choice is taken, and you didn't get high, you got a higher power. And in our basic text, and let me paraphrase the shit out of that, it says somewhere that we can use this power long before we understand it. Thank you. Thank you for writing those words, man, because when I got here, and I kept it so damn simple. We admitted that I'm going to paraphrase the first fucking step for Christ's sake. We admitted that, okay, open the bookmark. Oh, we admitted that we were powerless over our addiction. And then I skipped to, we tried to carry this message to addicts and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Man, I will simplify some shit, okay? I don't need all that stuff in the middle because I don't understand what they mean, and the only problem I got is dope. And if I put that down, man, I got a message to carry. Oh, yeah. If I carried that message to you and you got high, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And that's the only amend I can make on that because I don't know. I don't know how many people. I don't have that kind of power, but, don't don't let my interpretations and my judgments of things cloud your ability to think it through for yourself. Because we will do that around here. We will get some time in, and we will get some ideas, and we will get some shit happening, and all of a sudden, somehow, it's the be-all and end-all, and it's not. I don't know at any one time. I love this line. Everything I know is subject to revision, especially what I know about the truth. Especially what I know about the truth. The truth, and I've heard it said here, This is why the steps is a continuous process. Once I got back into the steps, and it took me many years to get from the beginning of step 1 and the end of step 12 back to the rest of them, okay? I kept it so simple, I just kept coming back, man. I ain't using, it's cool. I don't know about the rest of this shit. I don't know where I was, man. I'm sorry. I'm looking at, I lost something there, but that's okay. That happens. These topics and the way, I was tripping on the way this is laid out this year. Thank you for the committee. Thank you. I just got to keep saying that because I mean it, man. Because, see, I don't have to do nothing, man. And I'm down with that. I show up. I throw some money in the mail. I come in, they say, hey, Mark, what's happening? I say, hey, it's wonderful to be here. I love you guys. Thank you. You know, I don't have to do all that hard work that the other people do all year long. And I love that. I love that people do that. I can't. I mean, that's just the way it is. I serve my home group. But the way these topics are laid out, it's like building a foundation, okay? So you're getting into the first 3 steps, maybe the 4th. I'd say the first 3. That's the way I'm going to say it. 1 disease, 1 program. See, that happens a lot. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to a lot of different programs. Look it, man, there's a lot of experts out there on a whole lot of shit, okay? Find your own truth. Revise what you know. Find your own truth. The 1 disease, 1 program thing, we experiment, with recovery the way we experiment with dope, man. I know this other guy, he talks about 12 promises. What the fuck's up with us? We only got 1. I'm missing something, man. If I go to a meeting where there's a lot of tables going, especially me, I got this OCD shit going, and depending on how much Bustelo I've drank or anything, I'm wandering all over the fucking place. Well, if there's a bunch of tables at a meeting, and my meeting, maybe there's, at my table, it's deep or something, and everybody else is laughing, having a good time, well, fuck. I wish I was over there, I'm out of that self-acceptance. I want my outsides, to be there, not my insides. And so this 1 disease, 1 program, that's why I think that's why that's there. It's after you're building this foundation. I'm an addict, okay? I am not confused. I am not cross-addicted, poly-afflicted, contradicted. I ain't none of that shit, man. I'm a goddamn dope fiend. And if I start putting some shit on that, what's next? I can't afford to get down. I know this. I can't afford to get down in any way, shape, or form, man. I can't. Because, see, once it starts, where does it stop? I mean, it's so... People relate to this, so I like it. Back to the express line. I'm not getting, if it says 10 items or less and I got 11, I'm going to a different line, man. Because I've been behind them people pissed off because they got 13 things, man. Holding me up. I'm responsible, productive. Don't you know who I am, man? Why you got all that shit? Why you in my way? And then the calm comes. See, I don't know where that comes from. That comes from here. That comes from here. The calm comes. Only because I keep coming back. The healing begins. That's where that's going. That's what's next. And the healing begins in them center steps, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's where the healing begins. And then fixing the wreckage. 8, 7, 8, or 8 and 9. And then we learn with 10, 11, and 12. But, recovery and relapse comes in there. Because for some of us, that's been our truth. We've had to relapse. If you came back, thank you. I love you. Know that, man. Know that. But also know this. Once you find these tables, you don't ever have to leave again, man. You don't ever have to get high again. Everything that people are saying might be bullshit, okay? Because I know that's what I thought. They ain't, man, look. I ain't never seen people like this, man. They're all talking about they ain't getting high. They're full of shit. I don't know nobody that didn't get high. And they'd be all around the tables and smiling and shit. And then they'd go to the kitchen. Yeah, okay, all right, going to the kitchen. I can remember when my kitchen drawer, all the knives were burnt up on the, blackened up and shit, But they would go to the kitchen. Why are they going to the kitchen? They're cleaning up after the meeting, man. I didn't know that. I didn't know they did that. I thought that shit, I don't know how it got there, man. But they were going to the kitchen to clean up. One day they said, come to the kitchen. I said, now I'm going to find out. And then I went to the kitchen. That's what they were doing. They were cleaning ashtrays, man. Washing coffee cups and shit. Talking, laughing. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And they said, come on out and have some coffee. I said, oh. On the way to the coffee, we'll get down. In the parking lot. I know about that stuff. No, it wasn't like that, man. See, this changing thing, I wasn't ready to change everything. And I think that's why what happens with some of us, we don't change everything. We keep one foot in the old lifestyle. I can't give up all them people, man. And we're kind of, at this point, for me, I was doing drive-bys, okay? But I was doing drive-bys on recovery. Well, you had recovery. I wasn't using, There's a difference. And sometimes I'm clean, and sometimes I got recovery. I heard that today about we're not all sick on the same day, thank God. Well, you know what? Here's the deal, too. Recovery is as progressive as the disease is. And I have to say that because there's been times that I've been afraid, terrified, to come in and talk about the horrible things that I'm feeling or the shit that I'm going through right now because my ego, my head has said, they're not going to think that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing if I'm really feeling like this with this timing. And it scares the shit out of me, and I don't want to talk about it. So what do, man? I stuff it. Well, the thing about stuffing is it's going to come out. See, that's the truth. Now, when is it going to come out? I ain't got no fucking crystal ball. It might come out when I'm in the express line, and your poor little old lady ass has got 14 things, man, in your cart, and you're trying to figure out whether you got enough on your check or your debit card or, and then I'm tripping. Okay? So that's why I don't debate that shit anymore. If I got something bothering me, I'll go to my home group or I'll go to people that have held me, man. There's been men in this fellowship that have held me when my ass was falling fucking off. And I didn't know what else I was going to do. Sometimes people talk about, and everybody talks about this, and not everybody, but people do talk about it, that using dope ain't an option anymore. Well, I got to watch that. Because, see, I'll run with that shit. Using dope ain't an option. I'm motherfucking cured. I got to be careful when I put ED on things. Okay? I got to be careful with that. Because if I'm going to my home group, and if I'm keeping pretty current on what's bothering me, and if I'm doing step work, using dope goes down the ladder some, okay? But what happens, see, and this happened to me, okay? I don't know what happens to you. This happened to me. As a result of doing these things, sometimes success starts coming to us. And I'm an addict. I don't know success. See, I used to think success was, oh, man, I'm so fucked And look at that. They fell out. There's a big bag there. Yahoo. That, man, was I successful. Okay, so now I start learning success is defined a little differently. My boss calls me in his office. I'm used to this, man. Okay, Buck, here we go. Mark, I want to do this evaluation on you. Oh, shit. He gave me such a glowing evaluation, I was completely embarrassed. I was so embarrassed by this glowing evaluation that this man gave me. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to feel, man. And this was with, I've been on this job for a while. Thank you, Narcotics Anonymous. I ain't been on the job a while. I might talk about that, but look it. I went to my home group, and I shared about this. And I didn't share because I'm the great Mark. Why wouldn't he rate me like that? I shared because I'm not used to this success. And in the past, when I have started getting success as society defines it, which is, for me, the way society defines success is by some material shit, I don't need you guys anymore. You know? You gave me this foundation, man. I done me some healing and shit, you know? My kids call me dad now. My old lady hugs me when I come home. I remember where the car is and shit, you know? Look at, man, I got a driver's license with a picture on it, you know? I don't need to go to no meeting. I don't need to go to no meeting. So I forget, see, back to keeping it simple, I forget what it was like. November 14th, 1985. I don't ever want to forget that. I don't ever want to forget that again. Because November 15th is when I found you guys. I found you guys November 15th, man. And I ain't forgot November 14th. But see, when I'm getting in my head, when Mark's running the shit, November 14th, man. So, you know, I don't know, simplify. I belong to this very loosely organized motorcycle club called the Airheads. Fits pretty good. We call us the Airheads because we ride the old BMWs, the air-cooled BMWs. And our logo is simple by choice. And I guess, see, Narcotics Anonymous gave me a choice. I never had a choice before I got here. Never. See, I used to think, you know, again, taking it, to keep it simple shit, taking it to the extreme. I will wake up in the morning and think, ain't no sense in getting out of bed today, man. I got something to do that I don't want to do. I'm not going to be any good at it. I know where this is going. I'm just going to suck. And where this goes for me, I'm saying this because, like, I wrench on my motorcycle, okay? That poor motorcycle. That's what it's got going for it. I'm the mechanic. That's why the damn thing ain't running. So I will get through that, though. I will read the books. I will talk to people. And I will learn what I got to do. But I will lay in bed thinking, ain't no sense in going out and doing that shit, man. You know you ain't going to fix it. You know you ain't going to get it right. You know it's going to get all fucked up. Why bother? And so then I have to get past those thoughts. Thank you, Narcotics Anonymous. Because you've given me the opportunity to get past those thoughts. And I'll go out in the garage and I might screw some shit up, but it's okay. It's okay. After I get through all that, you know. In fact, the other night, I just want to share this because this is how my thoughts go. I had three kind of issues with the scooter. And they were things that have caused me not to even deal with it for like 4 years. 4 years, you know. Yeah, I'm going to get that tomorrow. Let's talk about procrastination. I'll catch you next year. But in fact, last year I went through this whole thing about I don't even think I need to ride anymore. It's, you know, I got to change. I don't know why after 20-some years I decided I had to change. But so I go out, and in 2 days I was able to overcome the stuff and these things that have been fucked up with somehow integrity, whatever it is. I fixed them. And so at the end of that day, I was very grateful. I was very grateful. I was grateful to my higher power for allowing me to finally get off my ass and deal with this. And so I said, well, I'm going to go out in the yard and meditate and give thanks. And I live out in the country, and we don't have any neighbors, and it was getting to be nightfall, and all the night noises were there. Like last night, if you've been able to get still enough, and we haven't been bothering you with singing songs about the government and shit, if you've been able to hear some of the night noises on the lake, there's some very beautiful natural things. So I'm in the yard meditating, man. And I'm feeling this peace, and I'm feeling this gratitude, and I'm feeling this love, and me and the machine are one. Debbie's okay with it, you know, because my wife is part of my thing too, you know, that poor woman. But so we're in this whole thing, man. I'm in this whole Zen fucking thing, and the next morning, I get up and I have to go to town because I got a new tire, and all I got to do is put the tire back on the bike. So see, now my head's going. I got the tire back on the bike. I'm riding this fucker down the road, and I walk back in the garage, and all the shit that I worked on, that I had all these concepts and gratitude for, leaking like a son of a bitch. Well, now do you think, before I went into town, I practiced my 11th step because I got to get up in the morning and do it. I can't think, well, I got this other shit to do. No, I got to do this steps thing early because I'll forget. I'm pretty responsible, productive. So I get back in the garage. Man, where did them thoughts go? You ain't no goddamn mechanic. Fucking bike will never run. What the hell did you think? I don't remember a step 3 thing coming in. I don't remember a step 7 thing coming in. No, just my thoughts, okay? So because of Narcotics Anonymous, I was able to back away from the bike, not go towards it, shove it over. Because anger, see, this is where I go now. I will go to anger, and if I dance with that anger long enough, if I massage that anger, if I'm embracing that anger, the result of that is suicidal thoughts. Okay, that's me. I've looked at them fucking bridge abutments at 80 miles an hour in the midst of an argument with my wife, and like, bitch, okay, we're both gone. Fuck you. And then as I'm like heading to the bridge abutment, fuck, she ain't got an airbag on her side. I do. What if I live? You know? I mean, this is where, this isn't a long, this is shit that's coming after step work, okay? Okay? That's where that is. It hasn't come that way in a long time. Thank you, Narcotics Anonymous. I haven't had those thoughts in a long time. And I know that there's some recovery in our relationship and in our life because she will get in the car with me, even though she ain't got an airbag, man. She'll get on she hasn't gotten on the back of the bike in a while, but when that time comes, she'll do that too. If I continue to talk, I'm just going to try to fucking entertain you, okay? So I think it's time to say goodbye. Know this. I love you. I love Narcotics Anonymous, and I love Camp Mac. And if you're struggling, it's okay. It's okay. Struggle. Struggle. Struggle your ass off. And when you get through that struggle, and you didn't put no dope on that shit, come back and tell us about it, man. Come back and tell us about it, because we need that, okay? I love y'all. Thanks.
Thank you, Mark. This next speaker is from my area, and I just want to say she's a wonderful person. She has a good, strong program that's helped me out a lot. Kim, come on up.
What? Oh, okay. All right. Hi, I'm Kim, and I'm an addict. Hi, Kim. And when the topic of keep it simple came up, somebody suggested to me that I was pretty good at keeping it simple. And even though I've been in recovery a while, I sometimes still don't believe the things that I hear from other people. But I've heard it from a lot of people, and so thank you to Narcotics Anonymous for that. When I first got clean, I could complicate the heck out of anything. Anything. I would analyze it and pick it apart. I would have a conversation with you, not with you physically, but in my head. I would have a conversation with you. I would know your answer, my answer. I'd have it all figured out. Then I would have a conversation with you, and it'd be totally different than the conversation that went on in my head. I would worry about things, not be able to sleep, just keep it twirling around and twirling around and twirling it around. And then I came into the programs and I found the 12 steps. And one of the first things I heard was honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. And I thought, okay, how? The how of the program. And I learned that I had to be honest with myself, honest with my sponsor, and honest with my higher power. Okay? And I had to be open-minded. I had to be open-minded to the program. I had to be open-minded enough to come to meetings. I had to be open enough to listen to other people who were different than me. Because the first meeting I went to, there were a bunch of people sitting around in concert T-shirts and all had long hair, and they were laughing and giggling and drinking coffee and having fun, and I thought, there's no way these people are clean. Can't be clean. They're having too much fun. And I found out they were clean, and some of them had been clean 5 years, 10 years, longer than that. And I was like, whew, okay. And I just had to be willing. I had to be willing to go, and I had to be willing to do the things that people suggested that I do. And I caught on, or didn't catch on to, but I heard these real simple catchphrases that we've all heard real early on, like, just for today. All I had to do is not use just for today. I thought, how can I not use just for today? Because that's what I did every day. And they said, just for today, don't use. All right, so just for today. And then, you know, it was real easy for me back then because there was a dealer that lived right next door. So all I had to do was go outside, go across the driveway, go into their house, and I could use. But they said, don't use. Even if it's 1 minute, 5 minutes, whatever you got to do, don't use. Okay, all right, well, I tried that, and they said, just do that, just for today. Okay, all right. And I managed to do that. And then, you know, I've heard it said that I need to stay in today, because the analyzer that I was I would be in 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, and I'd have it all figured out, you know, and I have to stay in today. All I have is today. Nothing else is promised to me. Today, that's all I have. And what I've also learned, thanks to Narcotics Anonymous, is I can't do anything about the past, you know. And I, for a long time in the program, beat myself up about things that happened in the past. You know, things that took place that I wasn't too proud of, that I regretted, that I didn't accomplish. And people told me to stay in today. Okay, so I did that. And, you know, I can't change the past, but I can act differently today. You know, I have a sponsee that was going through her step work, and she was like, well, how do I do things? How do I make an amends for something I can't really make the amends for? And I said, well, what was suggested to me was that I do things different today. My son, which a lot of you know, is now, well, he's going to be 20 this coming weekend. And a lot of you knew him when he was like this tall. And when I got clean, he was 6. And I'd done a lot of stuff in that 6 years. And I said, how do I make an amends to a 6-year-old, you know? And my sponsor at the time said, stay clean, work the steps, keep coming back, and that's how you'll make your amends. You'll be a much better mother today to him than you were. All right, fine. Well, I must have done that because you guys all know he comes out here and visits, and he came out here this weekend with my granddaughter. So, you know, the program does work. It does work. And, you know, as far as I know, my son doesn't do drugs. And I'm grateful for that he didn't have to grow up from 6 to 20 seeing some things that could have affected him in a totally different way. Something I wanted to do early on to keep things simple was to pray. When I first got clean, I wanted to know how to pray. I wanted to know how to pray. I wanted to do it eloquently, and I wanted to do it the right way because, you know, I suffer from this perfectionist kind of thing where I want to do it just exactly the way it's supposed to be done. And somebody told me I didn't have to do that I could just have a conversation with my higher power, that if I woke up in the morning and I said thank you, and or help me, if that was the case, that's all I had to do. Keep it really simple. Didn't have to have some big fancy out-of-the-box prayer. And I did that. And thanks to the time I've been in recovery, my prayers have went from these little bitty one-word sentences to more of a conversation. I'm fortunate enough to be able to drive to work into the sun, and I get to see the beautiful sunrises, and I get to drive through the country when I go to work, and the fields, and the deer, and the flowers. Absolutely beautiful. And then when things do come on, I have to, my higher power I call God, so that's what I'm going to say, is I have to let go and let God. And I learned that early, too. And it took a little longer to practice that. But when I get out of the way and I let God take care of things, it works out so much better than when I do it. There's a story some of you may have heard about my husband and I trying to find a house. And you know, we looked for a house, got turned down on a couple houses. I was just distraught. We had this really nice apartment, so we had somewhere to live. We had a roof over our head, but, you know, we wanted this house. And so finally I was to the point where I was just tired. I just surrendered, said, I'm not going to look for a house. God, you know, if you want us to live in this apartment the rest of our lives, fine, we'll stay in this apartment. Thank you so much for this apartment. I kid you not. As soon as I surrendered, fully surrendered, we walked into a house. It was the house. The papers were signed. That's where we live now, and we've lived there for almost 9 years. So surrender, let go, and accept, and it was great. God's good. And then I have to actually let something go. While I was here, I've had a conversation with another addict who had something going on, and she's just letting this thing rent space in her head and give it all kinds of power and just let it work up. And I said, you got to let it go. Well, I have let it go. No, you haven't. No. You have to let it go, and you have to take your fingernails out of it, and you have to give it to your higher power. Because if you keep hanging on to it, it's just going to eat you up. It's not going to do anything to this other person that you're going on and on and on and on about. Let it go. You know, I feel so much better when I can actually get to the point of letting it go. And, you know, I was asked to be a part of a committee outside of Narcotics Anonymous, and I got all worked up about it and this and that, and, you know, trying to make sure it was perfect and everything went well, and somebody said to me, outside of Narcotics Anonymous, breathe. Oh. Breathe, okay? So I really try, no, I take that back, I don't try. I want to use the principles of the program in all my affairs, you know, whether it's at home, here, at work, because the spiritual principles of the program are the basics to me. And then to work the program, you know, it sounds like we have to do all this work. I know working the steps is hard if you really get honest about it. But go to a meeting, which means get in a car, get in somebody else's car, get on a bus, a subway, whatever you got to do, and you go to a meeting, you sit in a chair for an hour, hour and a half, depending on where you're at, and you listen, and you're honest with yourself and others, and open-minded and willing to do things that are suggested, and get a sponsor, and if you're willing to work the steps, and don't use, no matter what. That's the program. So not use. It's really a simple program, and I hear it said it's a simple program for complicated people. Because from what I hear, a lot of us are a lot like me. I'm not unique. That a lot of us come in here trying to analyze it and figure it out, and then try to work the program perfectly, because we have to be able to do it the right way, and it's like there's no right or wrong way. One of my sponsees, she said, "Well, I want your opinion on this step." Okay, so I gave her my opinion on the step. "Well, I talked to so-and-so, and their sponsor told them to do it a little differently." I said, "You can talk to 30 different addicts, and you're probably going to get 30 different ways to look at this step. There's no right or wrong way to look at our step work. We just have to do the work. And don't use no matter what. I've heard a lot of people talk about it yet this weekend, that no matter what, if somebody dies, if you get divorced, I don't use your job, just don't use. Don't use. Don't use. And something I was told when I first got clean was, keep coming back. Okay. Keep coming back. Okay. So I kept coming back. And I keep coming back. And then I think it's very important to keep coming back no matter what. I have watched in my years of being clean a lot of people come and go and come and go. And now I know some people who have 2, 3, 4, 5 years who finally stayed. And I'm grateful for that. But I do know of some other addicts who have went out and they don't come back. So if you're hurting, if you've used recently, if you're thinking about using, keep coming back, because it does work. This simple program does work for complicated people. It does. If we keep it simple, don't overanalyze it, don't complicate it, talk to somebody about it if you don't understand it. There's a basic text that'll help explain it to you. There's how and why. We've got more literature. From what I've been told, that when Narcotics Anonymous started, they didn't have anything. They had teeny-weeny bits that they got from another fellowship, and I'm grateful for that. But over in the other hall, we got a whole table of stuff, literature, that's available for us. And most of the meetings I go to, there's pamphlets that are free. So we like free, but keep coming back no matter what, and don't use. And that's the simplest thing that I can tell you. That's my experience with keeping it simple. And from what people tell me, since I do my best to live this simple program, that people see it. They see the change. And I had an addict walk by me yesterday. I was innocently minding my own business, walking down the sidewalk, and they were walking down the sidewalk, and all they said to me was, "Man, you sure are peaceful." Me? Wow, thanks, And that's another thing. When I first got clean, I couldn't just say thank you. If you gave me a compliment like that, I would, but blah, blah, and this and that and the other. And it's like, today it's like, thank you. Because today I have self-esteem, and I'm worthy, and I'm okay most days. And if I'm not, I have people I can call, people I can talk to, and a meeting I can go to and talk about it, so that I can keep it simple. When it gets complicated is when I don't talk about it, and I refuse to talk about it, and then I get stubborn, because that particular character defect has not totally been removed. It's still there. And when I get stubborn and don't talk about it, and don't want to share about it, and don't want to write about it, and don't want to look at it, then it gets way out of control. But I'm grateful you guys are all here. I love every single one of you. Thank you, Mark. I love you. Got a lot out of what you shared. But I'll keep coming back. Thanks.